Hello, my beautiful planty people, and how are you doing today? I am doing well. I hope you are doing amazing. I hope you had an amazing holiday, whatever holiday that is that you celebrate. So today we are taking a look at my top 10 plants that I either was gifted or purchased in the year 2020. Now, originally when I sat down to film this intro, I said top 5, and then I went to gather my plants and I was like, oh my god, like I can't pick just 5. So I bumped it up to 10. I hope that's okay with you. So for those of you who are new here, hi, hello, welcome. My name is Nikki. This is my channel, Plants, Pots, and Whatnots. And for all of my GFPs, my gluttons for punishment, who keep coming back for more, oh my gosh, thank you so much. So I'm just gonna go ahead and jump into it. I'm not gonna get super rambly like I normally do because this is probably gonna be pretty long because I've decided to do 10 plants. So without further ado, let's take a look at my top 10 plants that I received or purchased in 2020. Okay, you came back. I am so thankful. Thank you so much. So these plants are in no particular order. I was gonna arrange them in order from like when I purchased them to the most recent, but I couldn't remember. So they're in no particular order whatsoever. Okay. I think you'll find that there's a nice mix of variegation and non-variegation on this, but you guys know that I'm a bit of a sucker for variegation, so there will be quite a bit on this list. So let's go ahead and start with this guy that's right beside me here. So this is my Philodendron Jose Bono, who I have affectionately named Enrique. So Enrique has swiftly become one of my absolute favorite plants. I got this in a trade with Chloe from You Grow Glen Coco, who is just fabulous. I love her to pieces. And this plant was just tiny when I got it. It had just these little leaves down here at the bottom. They were, I think there was 3. Yep, there's the other one right there. And honestly, it wasn't that long ago that I got it, and this plant, let me tell you, grows so fast, especially for a variegated plant. Normally we kind of, when we think of variegated plants, we think they're a little bit more slower growing. It really depends on the type of plant, and if you're looking for a variegated plant that grows really quickly, this is an amazing option. Not only does it grow quickly, it also has gorgeous variegation. It is very, very easy to take care of. This thing is not high maintenance in the slightest. So this is its newest leaf, which kind of came out a little bit weird looking, but look how pretty that variegation is. So it has a really nice mix of sectoral chunks of variegation, as well as your more mottled and then like marbly. Like it just has it all. It has it all. So when the leaves originally come out, the variegation, the white variegation, comes out more white, as you can see on this new leaf. But over time, so this leaf originally was almost all white, and as you can see now, it is starting to fade to more of a green. This has some a ways to go before it reaches its true final color, which will probably be closer to this color here. But anyway, this leaf isn't barely, like it's not hardened off yet. And as you can see, there's another new leaf coming in right here. Let me see if I can get it up and show you. Look at that. It's crazy. Okay, so I told myself I wasn't gonna spend too long. Let's hope that was a piece of moss. I think it was. I told myself I wasn't gonna spend too long on each plant because it's already gonna be a long video, but it's been a while since I've just sat down and like showed you guys some stuff, and so I may get a little bit, you know, rambly about each plant. Some plants I'll have more to say about than others, but this one I'm really enjoying right now. The one thing, and I did mention this in a vlog, but you may or may not have seen it. So when I purchased this plant, so as you can see right here, this little, I don't know if you can see it. There we go. Is that a little better? So the stem, this was propagated here, and when the new growth came in, it came out quite thin. So I've had to put it up on this pole to support it because this is so thin, it's not going to support the weight of this heavy plant for too long. Anyway, but as you can see, so this plant has been in my IKEA greenhouse cabinet, and look at all of these marvelous aerial roots that it's growing. So this plant, that really tells me the humidity in that greenhouse isn't crazy high. I didn't seal it off like a lot of people do. I have just left the gap in the door. I may end up, I did buy the tape, and I may seal the front part of the door, like, but that's probably all. And it maintains between like 68 to 78, 80% humidity, which in my opinion is completely fine. And obviously my plants that are in there are loving it. So, okay, it's been a long time on poor Enrique here. So let's go ahead and show you the next plant. Okay, the next plant you probably saw somewhat recently, maybe not, I'm not sure. It is this guy. So this is my Monstera esculetto. So this was my #1 wish list plant on my previous, my wish list that I did earlier this year. And so there she is right there. She's just a baby. She's got a new little leaf coming in here. Now she is definitely, so she has been sitting on my IKEA shelves just at the top of my stairs here. And I really think that she can benefit from some extra humidity. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and put this in my greenhouse cabinet, which by the way, keep your eye out for, because I have some crazy exciting things going on with that cabinet coming up here soon, probably mid to late January. That video, it's gonna take a while to like do, so but watch for that. I am so excited, I just keep rambling about it. But anyway, so this plant was so cool. The leaves get incredibly large and holy and just beautiful, and I was so fortunate to get this guy in a trade with my friend Cami, all the way across the country, and I'm just so thankful that I got it, because these run for like a 2-leaf cutting. Even this size would probably run you like probably a couple $100, and to get one with like bigger leaves is like $400, $500, $600, like it's crazy. So I was so fortunate to get this little teeny guy from Cami, and yeah. Okay, so that is my Monstera esculetto. Formerly, because I always say this, Epipremnoides, because I know a lot of people still call it that. Okay, let's take a look at my next plant. Okay, you guys knew this one was going to be on the list. How can it not be? It is stunning, it is beautiful, and it is my variegated banana, variegated Muah banana, and her name is Paisley. So Paisley is stressing me out a lot. I don't know if you can see why. So Paisley has started, so these leaves are great, wonderful. Look how pretty that is. You know, we got variegation going on here. And then we have the last 3 leaves coming out entirely white. So this is the one that she just emerged. I don't want to touch them a whole lot. Their leaves are extremely sensitive to the oils on our fingers. And what I always try to tell people, and always makes me cringe when I see it, is people touching the white parts of variegated plants a whole lot. You'd be surprised at the things that are on your fingers that will easily damage, especially the newer leaves. Once they harden off, they're not quite as sensitive, but I try to avoid touching the white portions of variegated plants as much as possible, especially this one. The leaves are already extremely delicate, so this one just opened, and I'm not sure if you can see it here. Right here on this side, I think there was a drop of moisture that just sat there a little bit too long, and it doesn't take long at all. So I'm not sure what to do with this plant at this point. I'm just letting the leaves continue to grow, and I'm really praying that some of that green comes back. I think one of the things that I'm going to try is pulling the light down a little bit. It is in a bright spot because because bananas do like bright light. But I'm going to try to pull it back out of the extremely bright light in hopes that maybe some of the green will come back. I don't know. It's worth a shot. So anyway, she's beautiful anyway, and I love her to pieces. Having an all white plant is just not sustainable. So, you know, it's a struggle. but she's still gorgeous. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to my next plant. Okay, let's move on to this guy. So this one, I didn't know that I needed until I got it in a trade with a local friend of mine here, Jen. And it was just a teeny tiny little guy when I got it. And she is growing substantially. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is my Philodendron Majestic. So Philodendron Majestic is a cross between a Philodendron Varicosum and a Philodendron Soderoy. So if you don't know, Varicosums have this gorgeous coloring. They are beautiful. They have red backs, which you can clearly see on the back of these leaves. It has kind of El Choco vibes, but the Varicosum does have that red hue as well. And then if you look at the front, it gets that beautiful silvery coloring from the Soderoy. So the Soderoy, to my knowledge, is one of the most silver plants, or philodendrons, sorry. They get to the point where almost their whole front of their leaf has that beautiful silvery marking on it. And what an amazing combination, the Soderoy and the Varicosum. I mean, whoever did that, good job, because this is a gorgeous plant. It's extremely easy care, in my experience. This is another one that I do have in my IKEA greenhouse. It grows really fast. It's beautiful. I haven't had any problems with it. I did almost lose it at the very beginning when it was a really, really tiny cutting. It was just like a seedling. Words are hard today. It was just a seedling, and I think I took it out of the high humidity too quickly, so it started, I thought I was gonna lose it, but I didn't, and now it is thriving. Anyway, so this guy needs a pull here soon. I've got a little chopstick. Chopsticks are great. I use them for everything. And it definitely needs a pull. It's growing so fast that, yeah, we need to get her situated. But anyway, if you have a chance to get your hands on one of these, I highly, highly recommend it. They are beautiful and such rewarding plants. So that is my next plant there, my Philodendron Majestic. Okay, this just got warm in here all of a sudden. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at my next plant. So the next plant that I want to show you is actually half of the parentage of the Majestic. I'll just show you in the background there so you can see her. She's so pretty. So this is the Philodendron Soderoy. So this is one that I got from, I believe it was Paula. And you can see here, see that silvery? Like, it's just crazy. So this is just a small plant, as you can see. Who I did have some trickier moments with in the beginning, but she seems to be working herself out now. She was doing that whole typical philodendron thing where their leaves come out, they do the whole, hey, I'm stuck in a shoe thing, and then they break. So I actually lost a leaf here because of that, and we almost lost the previous one. It had a little nick, and I'm hoping that leaf survives. The petioles at this age in the plant's maturity are just so small, and it takes next to nothing. So if you are a person that likes to help leaves out, I would just stay away from juvenile plants like that. But this is the newest leaf. It came out kind of weird, but I think it'll be not too bad. I don't want to tip it down too much. Anyway, so that one just unfurled, so that'll harden off in a little while. But you can kind of see if I pull my Majestic up here, whoop, the silvery, hopefully that's coming off. You can kind of see the relationship there between the two. So nice. I can't wait for this plant to get like this size and bigger. Okay, let's move on to my next plant. I don't even know what plant we're on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we're moving on to plant number 6. You guys knew this plant was going to be on this list. Last year in 2019, this was my #1 wish list plant. This was a plant that I thought I would never get my hands on, but I did. And let me tell you, I am so glad that I got it in early 2020 and not in late 2020, because I would have paid, there's no way I would have been able to pay for it, period. So I have, as you guys know, been on quite the journey with this plant. This is my variegated Philodendron Bellatai, or Bellatai, and there are no words. So this leaf here was its original leaf. It had a green one and then kept growing green leaf after green leaf after green leaf. And I was getting like, man, you know, you pay the money for the variegated plant because that's what I've already got a green Bellatai, you know? And so if you've been with me a while, a few months back, I took the plunge and I chopped the node right back to the only variegated leaf that this plant had. And thank God I did. I had honestly was unsure for a while. I thought I was gonna lose it. But lo and behold, it gave me this gorgeous variegated leaf. And now we have actually another leaf on the way here that I am pretty sure is going to be variegated as well. I am so happy. The stress was worth it when I cut it, because, you know, I mean, look at that. It is just beautiful. They have this gorgeous marbly variegation, but then you can also get variegation like this, which is that like almost sectoral, really absolutely beautiful. So it's been a journey with this plant, but in the end, it's been a very rewarding one. So that is plant number 6, my variegated Philodendron Bellatai. Okay, moving on to plant number 7 is this beautiful guy. Now I know I showed you mostly philodendrons already. I am a little bit more multifaceted. And this guy is definitely one of my favorites. So this guy is the Anthurium Bellatai. Look at that leaf. Oh. These are, now when I first purchased this plant, nobody had really heard of it. For the most part, the general population was unaware of this plant. I was unaware of it. I just thought it was kind of neat looking. I looked up the adult, like the mature version, and I was like, whew. So I bought it on a whim. It was just a tiny little seedling. It had, so you can kind of see it at the bottom here. Oh, he's kind of heavy because I watered him like a couple days ago. So it just had this leaf, I believe, was the first one to grow, but it just had these tiny little guys here. And very quickly, that escalated to these beautiful leaves here. Now, this part here, I just recently cut off. That looked like there was a bit of a fungal thing starting to happen there, and I was like, oh, hell no. Anyway, so I'm really enjoying this particular Anthurium. It never comes off on camera, but the veins are incredibly sparkly. I'll get it up as close as possible, but it's usually really difficult to show on camera. But especially when these leaves are juvenile. Maybe you can see it better on the back of the leaf. Hold on. Is that coming across at all? If I like shift it at all? Probably not. Anyway, if you happen across one of these, I highly recommend picking them up. They are gorgeous, very rewarding. I've found the plant extremely easy to take care of. So maybe if you're somebody who's kind of trying to get into anthuriums, but you don't want to dive into something super, super crazy just yet, go for this one. In my experience, and I am speaking only from my experience, other people may say otherwise, but in my experience, it's been extremely easy plant to take care of, and I am obsessed with it. I do encourage you to go check out some mature forms on Google, because they are even more stunning when they get older. So that is plant number 7, my Anthurium Bellatai. She's a pretty girl. Okay, the next plant is one that I know a lot of people are trying to get their hands on right now. I lucked out and got this plant for about half of what they are going for right now. Now, I got this plant when it had, I think there was 3 leaves on it, and I paid, I think it was just over $200. Now, right now I am seeing that same plant that has about 2 to 3 leaves going for $5, $6, $7, up to $900. So I am so grateful that I found this plant when I did. So this gorgeous beauty is none other than the beautiful El Choco Red. Now, I know the fronts of the leaves are absolutely beautiful. That dark, dark green with that beautiful bright vein, but this is a party in the back kind of plant. So the coloring on this particular Choco just seems to be so vibrant. Look how amazing that is. Isn't that gorgeous? It's just got the most stunning red background. I am just obsessed with this plant. I just love it so much. So it is working on a new leaf as we speak. Its original leaf at the back here is starting to go by way of the dodo, but you know what? It happens. I, in my experience, have found this plant extremely easy to take care of. You know, no more difficult than is gloriosum, or maybe even a little bit easier than a gloriosum. I would say probably on par with like a Philodendron glorious, if you have one of those. Although I know Paula is going to watch this, and Paula has been struggling with her El Choco, and I'm sorry, I don't know. But from the other people that I know that have one of these, they have also said that they are an extremely easy philodendron to take care of on the rarer side of things. So anyway, highly recommend this plant. It's gorgeous, it's beautiful, and it's fun whether you're looking at the front or the back of the leaf. So that is plant number 7, 8. That is plant number 8. The Philodendron El Choco Red. I don't know what number it is really. I have no idea. Let's move on to plant number, whatever plant number we're on. Okay, so I had to go back and count. We were on 8. So this is 9 and 10. So when I picked these last 2 plants, I'm looking around at like a whole bunch of other plants, and I'm just like, I can't. It's so difficult, so difficult. And then it was also a struggle to try to figure out what ones I got in 2019 and which ones I got in 2020. So it was just like, I was on the struggle bus. Anyway, these are the last 2 that I picked for my top picks of 2020, and I think you're gonna like these. They're pretty epic. Okay, so the first of the last 2 plants that I'm gonna show you is this beautiful guy here. So you saw me unbox this not long ago. This is the gorgeous, the stunning Alocasia Dragon Scale. And I still can't get over how gorgeous this plant truly is. Those leaves are just incredible. Have you seen anything quite as gorgeous as that? I still can't get over it. Every time I look at this plant, I'm just stunned. It does have a new little guy coming right there, so I'm really excited to see some new growth on this guy. These were the 2 leaves that it had when I first got it, and so it's going to be really nice to see a new leaf unfurl in my care. Now, if you know me and you've been around a while, you know that alocasias are probably my second favorite genus, with philodendrons being in number 1. I am an alocasia nut. I know that a lot of people seem to have problems with alocasias, but knock on wood, fortunately I have not. I know a lot of people say that their alocasias deal with spider mites. Again, knock on wood, I have never had a spider mite on any of my alocasias. Philodendrons? Absolutely. Anyway, gorgeous plant. I haven't had it a crazy long time, but I think maybe a couple months, but it's been super, super easy. Maybe not even a couple months, month and a half, I don't even know. Anyway, beautiful plant, highly recommend. I mean, it's just, so these guys, they're, I know a lot of people ask me about alocasias frequently because I know some people struggle with them. They like their soil to stay somewhat moist. I wouldn't let your alocasias get super, super crispy dry. I would say let the majority of the soil, I usually would water it when it gets to just below a 3 on my moisture meter. I don't let it get too much more dry than that. They do appreciate a higher humidity level. So this particular alocasia is in my IKEA greenhouse, and it seems to really be loving that. They don't like super bright light, so I have it down on the bottom shelf in my IKEA cabinet. And I mean, it seems to be liking it there. We're getting new foliage, and so that's great. Originally I had it on the top shelf, and if you can see on this leaf right here, this lighter coloring was because the light was just a little bit too bright for her. And so since moving her down to the bottom shelf is when she really started to respond well and started pushing out this new growth. So that is my second last plant, my Alocasia Dragon Scale. Whew! I'm telling you, it's warm in here. Okay, this last plant is a big plant. I'm going to try the best I can to fit her into frame. I'm probably gonna have to shift and put her on my lap. Okay, oh boy. Maybe I'll put her on the chair. Oh. I can't even get her into frame. Okay, so this is my, wow, she's really large. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna turn sideways here. So this is my variegated bird of paradise. I really wish I could get you a better shot of the leaf. So this is a variegated bird of paradise. Absolutely stunning plant. I was so lucky to get my hands on this guy. I think I got it near the beginning of the year. I would say probably January, February maybe. But like, look at the leaves. This particular one, I've seen a lot of them on, you know, other videos and online. And honestly, the variegation on this particular plant is probably one of the nicest I've seen. Now, I may be partial because it's my plant. But really, the variegation is absolutely stunning. So this plant is a little bit more slower growing than your traditional bird of paradise. Oh, I'm gonna try to set her right here. Oh, okay, just big. So they do grow a little bit more slowly than your typical bird of paradise. I do have a regular bird of paradise, and it tends to put out like a leaf every few weeks, whereas this one probably, I would say, puts out a new leaf every maybe 2 to 3 months or so. But definitely they are worth it when they come through. This is the most recent leaf here. It hasn't completely hardened off yet, but it's getting close. It's still a little bit flimsy, but how beautiful is that? Look at the leaf. And they're just huge. So this plant is very fast becoming a floor plant. It is currently still up on the shelves in my front window. However, you can see this is on the floor right now, so it's probably about 3.5 feet tall, 4 feet tall ish. 3.5 feet. We'll go 3.5 feet. It's big. Anyway, they do like high light. If you're putting it in bright, direct sunlight, I would probably slowly acclimate it to that, but they do like bright, bright light. So this guy is in my front northwest facing window, and it is also directly under one of my grow lights, and it seems to love it there, absolutely. I haven't had any problems with her. She did take a little while to acclimate when I first brought her home. But after she started putting out leaves, she has been perfect. They do have the same issues as regular birds of paradise where their leaves are quite sensitive. So if you bend them or manipulate them too much after they've hardened off, they are prone to splitting. So I've been, you can probably see it on this bottom one right here, this little split. I'll try to zoom in editing so you can see that. But that is quite typical of the bird of paradise, just because of the texture of the leaf and how like solid the leaves are, but they are kind of brittle and they will break. So definitely something to be mindful of. But other than that, really great plants, super easy. Highly recommend if you can find one to get one. They're definitely a conversation piece. When people walk in and see this, it takes center stage for sure. Okay, well, that's pretty much all I have for you today. I really hope you enjoyed this. It's like I said, it's been a while since I've just sat down and chatted with you guys, and it's been nice just to sit down and show you some stuff. And if you've made it this far, oh my goodness, what emoji should we use today? Let's go easy. Let's just do a plant emoji. For this time, that would be perfect. So I will wrap it up in the interest of not being here too much longer than I already have been. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for liking and watching and commenting and subscribing. If you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so. It is a huge help for my channel and I really do appreciate it. With that said, I would like you all to have an amazing and wonderful day, night, week, month, and year. I love you all to bitty bits, and I'll see you in the next video. Mwah! Okay, these are in no particular order. I really just fuck. And you know what? The humidity. Hi, Eli. Can you go lie down? No, you're gonna make me furry. I love you. Can you go lie down? Go lie down. Go lie down. Woo.